Hello and welcome to Driving with Todd, and I'm Todd. And we're going to do a request. Now, the request comes in from my reaction to Hawkwind doing the song Magnu. And the YouTuber who's making the request goes by the name of Sid Hawkwind. Last name being Hawkwind, must be a huge Hawkwind fan. Well, Sid writes, "Welcome to the wonderful world of Hawkwind," with 4 exclamation marks. May I suggest you listen to Living on a Knife's Edge from the album Sonic Attack. Hawkwind is just chock of block of diversity. So I thought, yeah, let's do that. I haven't done a Hawkwind in a while, and this sounds kind of interesting. So I went to Wikipedia and looked at Hawkwind's discography, and I found that album, Sonic Attack, came out in 1981. So it's a later Hawkwind album. In fact, I believe it's their 11th studio album. And it reached number 19 on UK's album chart. So it raised pretty high. I mean, got into the top 20, which is excellent. But what I thought was kind of cool is when I was reading about Sonic Attack, they mentioned that prior to recording that album, Ginger Baker had left the band. And he had done an album the previous year with Hawkwind called Levitation. Well, I didn't know Ginger Baker was with Hawkwind. Now, I'm a huge Cream fan, and I love Ginger Baker. I always thought he was one of the world's greatest drummers back in the 60s and in the 70s. Also, huge fan of Blind Faith, which Ginger Baker played drums with Blind Faith as well. And then, of course, there was Ginger Baker's Air Force. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and maybe there's a song somebody can tell me that is excellent to listen to off of Levitation, because I kind of like to hear what Ginger sounded like with Hawkwind. But until then, we're going to do the song from Sonic Attack. And like I said, that album came out in 1981. And the song Living on the Knife's Edge starts out side 2 of that album. So this is going to be cool. Never heard the song before. In fact, never heard this album. So far, everything I've heard by Hawkwind I thought was kind of interesting. A lot of it was psychedelic, space rock. We'll see what this is like, because this is later Hawkwind. So here we go with Hawkwind.
Watching on a TV screen, do you begin to sense it? Just beneath the surface, reflections of a window whilst walking down the street. Computers are abused, score records are fed, police are checking on what you've said. The number of your car is fed into a box. Your job is being checked, it's a paradox. Duplicate forms
Okay, interesting. The vocals aren't quite what I thought it'd be for this song. So the song fades in, which I think is really cool. So I don't know if the last track on the first side of the album sort of fades out, and then on the first track, because it's the first track on the second side, it fades back in. It'd be interesting to know that. But it fades in, which is kind of an interesting start to a song. And there's some really good guitar in here. Some what I'm thinking is synthesizer kind of swirling in and out of the song. And then the vocals come in. But the vocals aren't what I would thought would fit for this song. I thought the vocals would be more of a straight vocal, kind of almost a hard rock type vocal. But instead, they're vocals that are similar to what was going on at the time in 1981 in the UK, which was, new wave music. They're coming out of the punk scene. The post-punk era was now in stride, and the new wave scene was big. And this is the style of vocal that I hear on this Hawkwind song, is kind of weird, strange vocals that fit the new wave scene. It's like almost double tracked or multiple different people singing the same lyrics, and it just sounds kind of new wave. Unlike the soundtrack to the song, or the backing track of the song, is more of a hard rock, maybe a progressive rock type of background sound. So it's kind of a combination of hard rock, progressive rock, and then with the vocals, new wave. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see where this goes. Let's see where this song goes.
Future generations.
Oh, I like that instrumental break. That was interesting. Now, that's what I would consider Hawkwind, okay? It's kind of a spacey sound. You had keyboards in there. I think that was kind of a keyboard or programmed electric piano or something of that nature. And then there was a synthesizer that was swirling in and out of there. And then I love that smooth guitar solo that comes in near the end of the instrumental break. That's a beautiful, beautiful sounding guitar. I mean, just real smooth. Nothing like a speed demon or anything. Just kind of playing a little bit of almost bluesy sound to add to the space sound that was going on in that instrumental break. But that was a nice instrumental break. I really, really like that. I think I can go back and see if I can pick that up again. Kind of hard to find because I don't have anything to go by here. Let's see if it's right here. Nope. A little bit further back. Let's try it right about there. A little bit more. Okay, that was pretty nice. Um, the ending was kind of interesting because, like I said, when it started out, it fades in, which I thought was an interesting approach to the first track on the first side. I mean, what a way to start the second side, or the first track on the second side of the album. What a way to start the second side of the album is actually fade the song in. That's kind of cool. But the vocals were so odd for what I would think would be a progressive space rock, hard rock song. But it goes into just a wonderful instrumental break. That instrumental break was just dynamite. All the instruments, and that's the thing with Hawkwind, and I've mentioned this before. There's so many instruments. There's so much going on in their songs, and you're trying to pull out. Okay, what's that? What's that? What's that? But there's a lot of keyboard synthesizer sounds in that instrumental break, and then that drum comes in. Hits a beat, hits a beat, hits a beat. A heavy bass guitar comes in, and then that sweet guitar solo comes in, and it's just a sweet guitar solo. Very nice, very even, nothing frantic about it at all, just really sweet. And then it gets into the ending where they keep on repeating, living on a knife edge, kind of almost like a refrain to the song. And that now sounds like a standard rock song. They moved away from those new wave-ish type of vocals and went back into a kind of hard rock, progressive, space sounding vocals, which I thought ended the song very nicely. I just like the way this song ended. Instrumental break to end was just really wonderful on this song. So yeah, this was good. And like I said, this is a later album too, so they were must have been just kind of building on how they were putting their songs together as they moved from album to album. Plus, they noted, this was a different drummer. It was a drummer that they had previously had in the band, rejoined Hawkwind, and so that added a different sound than what their previous album would have been, and so on. So I like this. This is actually a really good track. I'm not sure how this whole album sounds, but I'm impressed with this one song. This is really interesting, especially like I said when it got into the instrumental break. What a unique sounding instrumental break. It's kind of what I would think Hawkwind would sound like from what I've heard of them up to this point. So I enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, hit that like button. That'd be really, really cool. If you have any comments about Hawkwind doing the song Living on a Knife Edge from the album Sonic Attack, put in the comments below. That would be really appreciated. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. I'd like that a lot if you did. And then go over here and ring that bell and get updates to my latest videos. So again, good request. Really enjoyed this request. Put a big smile on my face. I hope put a big smile on your face. And peace out, baby.